All right, so a lot of you meme lords are trying to fast track your way to your first 1,000 subs on YouTube. If you're trying to get there, you're probably just overcomplicating the process. So in this video, we are going to break down some simple steps on how to get to your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I got to my first 1,000 subs in about 11 weeks. I didn't get to 1,000 subs in some absurdly short amount of time, like 9 days, like some of these dudes on YouTube. But with that being said, I think that 11 weeks is actually pretty impressive, at least by my own standards. So we're gonna break this video down into two different parts. Number one, strategy, and number two, mindset. So let's jump right into it. So the first part of strategy, I would say, is picking a niche or two. A lot of people on YouTube are going to tell you the same advice, and I agree with it. So if you don't know exactly what niche to pick, I would recommend just generally trying to understand what it is that you're naturally good at. Maybe there are some things that you happen to do a lot when you were growing up, like, I don't know, play baseball or some sport or activity, or you know how to work with tools, you're good with your hands. Whatever it is that you're good at or you're passionate about, I would just start there. I wouldn't get too specific though. The whole idea of this is to just find like a general corner of YouTube where you can start posting your videos and talking about something. And if you really can't figure out what your niche is, I would recommend reading these books by Austin Kleon. They're super short, basically just coffee table books, giving you some tips and tricks on how to leverage your skills and expertise. The second part of strategy I recommend is just focusing on browse and search content. So how do you figure out what browse and search content are? Number one, I would Google it. And number two, the best way to find that is just pick a niche that you're interested in YouTube or some topic that you're interested in, and go in the search bar and search that topic and see what the most popular videos are. And then through that, you'll start to see a lot of the same like titles and thumbnails by different creators. Those are going to be the most popular videos in that corner of YouTube that you're searching in. And what you want to do is basically just emulate those videos. This might seem like you're a copycat, or it's like counterintuitive, or it's like forbidden, you should be authentic, all that stuff. I understand that argument, but at the same time, these videos are really popular for a reason, so you should use that as a basis for your ideas. You can use it as a basis to start to build an audience. My one recommendation for this is that you shouldn't try to be too clever or too competitive with these other creators. Like, use the basis of these ideas as like a springboard, and then just put in your own kind of flavor, your personal flair into these videos. And then lastly, once you have determined which browse and search video content you're going to create, I would go ahead and stack those videos on top of each other. So make a few of those videos and then schedule them out every week on top of each other. The whole point of this is that it just gives you a better chance of one of these videos blowing up if the other video is blowing up, or if one video is gaining steam, then the other one is starting to gain steam, especially if they're known to be popular in the particular niche that you're already posting to. So leverage that. So part two of this video is going to be about mindset and rationale. So let's jump in. Number one, compound growth, the power of compound growth. If you frequent my channel a lot, you're going to be familiar with the power of compound growth. I talk about this idea so much. We see it in so many examples throughout history. It's a super powerful concept. Typically, when we start something like learning a habit or just doing something new, at the very beginning and even after the very beginning stages, we almost always don't really see much progress. After a while, we get really good at that skill, or we improve at it in some way. And then a lot of the times we see this sort of skill level shoot up really quickly rather than kind of like even linearly. Sometimes we'll see like a linear growth and then it'll just shoot up. That's what compound growth is. And one of the best examples is Warren Buffett's story. This is a crazy statistic in that 99.7% of Warren Buffett's wealth was accumulated after the age of 52 for him. Obviously, he was making millions by the age of 52, but then you see this growth escalate at this exponential amount after the age of 52, and you can take this same idea and apply it to your story, to your journey. There's also a really good blog article that I'm going to link down in the description by Jason Levin, who's a popular kind of like digital entrepreneur out of New York City, and he talks about this concept a lot, and I think that it's worth a read for anybody. Okay, moving on. Be average. Stop trying to post your massive success story. We see this all the time on YouTube. How I did this insane thing that would typically take like years in like days or a few months. That stuff is all bullshit. So like you see a lot of these examples on YouTube. Honestly, I feel like why people do this is because it's just clickbait. I mean, I know it's obvious, but it's the truth. I'm starting to get sick of it, and I know a lot of people on YouTube are getting sick of it, especially viewers. So with all that being said, I have this theory that you could just post your average story, something that appeals more to the average person, which is kind of like what I do. And it's like kind of what I'm doing in this video. Even though, like I said, 11 weeks, 1,000 subscribers might be impressive to my own standards, I know that there's a lot of videos that are much more intense in the aspect that they're posting these videos where it's like, you know, 1,000 subscribers, how I did that in like 9 days. I think that that's like a little bit unrealistic. So I had this theory. What if I just posted my average story? It might not get the initial buzz that something that has a lot of clickbait might, but it will probably just attract the viewer that wants to hear a raw, understated, true story. And again, the point of my channel isn't to clickbait people into my videos. It's about just being honest about my story. Like, hey, how I did this in X amount of months, that's like a fairly reasonable amount of time, etc. And I think that clickbait shouldn't be the point of anyone's channel. It should just be an honest and frank story of whatever it is that you're trying to portray. So be average, just post your regular story. Good content is rewarded with good community. Okay, and then lastly, don't be afraid to have a bold take. I didn't start to learn this until later on in my YouTube journey, which is still fairly young. I think that it's better to kind of sway more on one side of a topic than be in the neutral zone. Because otherwise it's like, what are people coming to your channel for? Especially with these talking head videos. Like, people are coming for hopefully honest and raw takes on a topic or how to do something. For a while, I was a little bit nervous to sway more to one side than staying neutral, but I realized that the viewership and a lot of the feedback that I was getting from my videos that had a bolder take were much stronger, and that the comments, for instance, that I was getting on some of my bolder videos were like paragraphs long of people that are saying, hey, Dylan, your video impacted me in this way. And there's like 4 or 5, 6 sentences, like this big description of like how I made an impact. On the other hand, for instance, if I were to have more of a neutral take, like probably get like a 1 or 2 liner saying like, great video, bro. And on the flip side, I do get a little bit of hate on my videos, people sending me comments of like paragraphs of why they disagree with me. But I also think that that's a healthy thing. That's a good thing, because like that's part of having a bold take, is you're gonna have people who boldly disagree with you. On the flip side, people who also boldly agree with you. So if you liked this video, obviously feel free to give it a like, and of course, subscribe. Thanks again for stopping by. Take care, brush your hair. See you guys soon.